Hey, what's up, guys? This is Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. I'm here with Florida Atlantic defensive coordinator and linebackers coach, Coach Roc. Roc, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. We just got off the field. I got a little orange chicken and some crab rangoons and rice in my system, so I'm good. I'm ready to go for the afternoon now. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh man, that sounds like music to my ears. I think I could use some of that right now. Now, Coach, you've been around for a while. I think this is going in. I think this is year 30 for you
Uh,
coaching.
you know how old I
I
sound when
don't
you
I
say
don't.
that? But it is. You're right. It is.
Don't make me you feel old. Don't mean to make you feel old. But the game has evolved a lot. What's been the biggest? I guess I would say been the biggest evolution in the sport of college football, in your opinion?
Oh, wow, man. Ooh, we could talk about that for a few days. I think the biggest evolution has been just how good offenses have gotten over the years. Back in the day, it was two backs in the backfield, 22 guys lined up between the hash, and who was the more tougher physical team. And you're fighting for every blade of grass in 3 yards. And now, teams are spread out and chucking the ball around. They got RPOs. If you pack the box, they're throwing the ball. And it's just been amazing to watch the evolution of offense to it's not really basketball, but it's basketball-ish where you got to score a lot of points to win games. And all the rules have kind of gone to the advantage of the offense over the years, which makes it more exciting for the fans. It doesn't make it more exciting for D coordinators, but it makes it exciting for the fans and offensive players in general. I think more kids are coming back to football. The basketball players that are 6 foot know they can go catch a bunch of balls, 80 balls playing receiver. So it's been exciting to watch it happen over the years.
No, I completely agree, and I kind of build on that. Like the way the game has changed a bit, it's made things seem almost easier for the offense. Not necessarily true for the defense. Now, what's the biggest misconception that fans have, about people playing defense?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't know. I don't talk to many of them. I think the biggest misconception about defense, I guess, that I would think they just think it's you go out there, run around, and tackle people, right? Oh, he's got great instincts. He tackles the ball. That's not it at all, right? It's 11 guys working together. Everyone has a gap, whether you're a D lineman, linebacker, a DB, and run support. Everybody has a gap. Everybody has to be right on every play for some. Of course, if you have a game changer who can shed a block and make a tackle in somebody else's gap if they screw up, that's a really nice luxury. But on defense, you got to really have 11 guys do their job on every play, or you're going to get exposed.
No, I agree. I think gap discipline is easily one of the most important things. Being able to stop the run with that gap discipline and being able to understand your part in coverage is huge. And there's a lot of stuff that people just don't necessarily understand how much goes into that, especially with all the moving parts based on the
Yeah.
offenses that you're
The
facing.
other thing too with that is when the quarterback gets involved in the run game. Normally if they're handing the ball off to the running back, well, you got 11 guys, and the guy handing the ball off, you don't have to account for. So you'll have them outnumbered on every play. But when the quarterback is running the ball, they have 11 people involved. So you have to have all 11 people. It's not the corners just stopping the pass, the safeties stopping the pass. They have to get down in the run game. So when you have a mobile quarterback, you can't just, oh well, we'll stop the pass with these guys and the run with. I think that's what fans don't understand is all 11 guys have to be where they're supposed to be, or that guy with the ball can pull it and run and expose you, or hand it off because too many guys are worried about him. I think that's probably the biggest thing that they don't understand, and that's fine. That's why we're here to educate them, right?
No, absolutely, and it's funny that we mentioned that because my Jets literally had that example happen on Monday night, last play of the game. Josh Allen keeps the ball, and Jimmy and Sherwood doesn't have gap discipline, and he ends up getting the first down to ice the game. It's so important that a lot of fans kind of miss those angles when they're watching. Maybe for a better lack of just a lack of understanding. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, now, Coach, you've helped a lot of young gentlemen mold the careers either in the NFL or just as men in general. Like what is the biggest factor that goes into player development in your opinion?
I think it's the having pride in your investment in the young man, right? You sit in their living rooms and you tell their parents, or maybe now with the portal, when you go see Bugs's family and he's not there, you sit in there and you tell those people that you're going to take care of their son, you're going to help him become a man, you're going to help him get a degree, you're going to help him become the best football player that he can be. and I try to be a man of my word. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes guys just, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. But over the course of 30 years, for the most part, I think, more often than not, guys are leaving here becoming the best version of themselves. And I think, it's a matter of pride. I take a lot of pride in I have guys that, played for me that you didn't know if they'd ever graduate college that are doctors now, that really became invested in their schooling, guys that are, policemen and firemen and productive members in the CEO boardroom as well as the NFL. So whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is that their goals are, you want to try to help them achieve it. And, I really do take that seriously. I don't just sit in there and tell people what they want to hear so their son will sign with my school. So, as far as football goes, it's a daily process. It's the weight room, it's the nutrition, Addie, Joey, it's the position coach, but it's also the young man showing up to work every day. He's got to come here to get better every single day. Doesn't start his last year playing football to try to make the NFL. It starts at the first day when they show up and report to campus.
No, absolutely. That's kind of, I guess, another misconception too, is a lot of people think that football coaches, even at the college level, they're just football coaches. And that's just not really the case. You guys are really, role models. You help kind of mold some of these guys and steer them in the right path, not just on the football field, but in life itself. Now, Coach, the defense this year has been pretty good, a little bit inconsistent at times. What's been your biggest surprise, so far this season, whether it's, player that stepped up to you, tendencies that you didn't think would work that ended up working for you guys? What do you think?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think, it's always a work in progress. You're always evolving, right? So you go into the season, you go through the summer, you have a pretty good idea of what you want to do schematically, what we might be good at, what we might not be good at. Then you may lose a player. You may lose depth at a certain position. So you don't want to run some of the things that you've been running because the backups may not be able to do it the way the starters can. And then what if he has to go in the game? So as we go through the season, we continue to evolve. There's some things that we'll run this week that we haven't run in the past, and I think can be good for us based on the personnel that we have available and what the offense is doing. So the thing I'm most surprised about really this group is they can handle a lot more than last year's group or even my previous time here. Mentally, this group is a little bit older, more experienced. We can throw more things at them and they can do them, relatively well. I think the other thing that really was surprising was the strength of schedule. You look at the prognostications, and they had us ranked as playing one of the worst schedules in the country. And I believe the teams we played are 18-6 overall, or something like that.
Yeah.
So in the age of the portal and NIL, you don't know who's going to be good year to year. You really don't. And I think it's going to continue to be that way. How does a team mesh with all the new people that they brought on, whether it's freshmen, transfers? I think defensively here, I think our guys have meshed pretty well. And honestly, you get lucky with that sometimes because you don't really know what to expect. You think you know the person, but until you're in the fire and until adversity strikes, you don't really know what to expect. So it's a wild ride, man. It's only going to get wilder from here on out. So I'm anxious. Hopefully, have a lot of years left to watch it develop again.
No, absolutely. That's kind of crazy. I don't think anybody really expected Army to be as good as they are this year. Like the teams that you guys have faced have been, good. Like there's no other way to put it,
Well,
So I think
in the group of five, you're going to see the Armies and Navies and Air Forces and the teams that can keep their people for 3-4 years, develop a system and a program, have them get bigger, faster, stronger. You can still bring in a bunch of transfers, and if you hit it all right, if you hit it, you hit the person right, you can still be pretty damn good. But I think you'd be better off building from within and taking pieces from the portal that'll supplement your roster rather than having your whole roster become the portal, because it's really feast or famine sometimes. So like North Texas got some transfers in that have made a huge difference in their offense, right? Where the Army, they got all the guys back and they're just running their stuff. And so it's interesting to watch it happen, man.
Yeah, it's interesting to have the academy schools kind of have that luxury where they have those guys, as you said, for 2, 3, 4 years. And actually, that's a good segue for what I wanted to ask you next. We talked about the defense being full of upperclassmen, pivotal positions. As you guys look to recruit and bring in transfers to fill out those positions going forward, what skills and qualities are you looking for in those players?
Well, we have we have a really good freshman class committed, so we have to hang on to them. We got a long way to go before signing date. We lose our top 4 linebackers are walking out the door. We have some guys on campus who I think can fill that role, but We have 3 young men committed who I think can be good players here. Of course, we'll look to supplement in the portal if we could find the right fit and the right person that could come in here and be what Jackson Ambush and Des Tisdale were for us. If not, then we'll have to roll with the young guys that we have. But I think you're always looking for length, long guys that can run, length and athleticism, because I'm a little vertically challenged and my arms are not as long as some people. So the tackling is easier when you're longer. Making plays on the ball in the air is easier when you're longer. So you're looking for length, you're looking for athleticism, you're looking for position fit, but it's the other things that you can't measure, that you have to make sure you have the right character. The guy that's going to go to class, he's going to take his degree seriously, he's going to act right. He's going to, when adversity strikes, is he the guy that's transferred to 4 or 5 schools and is going to be running for the hills when adversity strikes? Or is he a guy that's going to sink his cleats in the ground and try to help us fight through adversity the way we're going through it right now? You got to make sure you're looking for those character things more. It's easy to look at a film. I mean, I got 4 boys at home. They could watch the film and, oh man, that guy's a really good player. Oh, that guy's not good enough. But it's the things inside of them that we have to do a good job, that we continue to evaluate and look for, that we know we're bringing the right person into the program.
No, I agree. I like to call it the we versus me mentality. Just making sure that somebody, you're fighting along with the guy next to you, in front of you, behind you, making sure you guys are gelling as one unit, 11 people on a team as one together unit, not 10 of 11 or 9 of 11. You know what I mean? So I think that's really important. A lot of people kind of, they see some of these players, amazing talent, but they just don't have what it takes to be like a team player. So sometimes that struggle is definitely, as a coach and recruiter and everything, it's got to be tough to navigate through at times.
Yeah, it's and it's gotten harder in high school now. They can transfer in the middle of the season,
Yeah.
which is going to make it even more challenging for the high school coaches to keep their team together and all bought in. And then when they get to college, you can't do that here. So hopefully it never gets to that point, right? Who knows though? But it's a challenge, and it's something we have to overcome as a profession.
No, absolutely. So one thing I do want to talk about is cornerbacks and run stopping, because I feel like it's kind of like a dead trait among cornerbacks, like just the way they're getting brought up through the system. A lot of cornerbacks just aren't really. I don't. They don't want to be run stoppers. Is there a reason why you think that mentality has kind of changed?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 7-on-7, right? They play 7-on-7 year round, and they go travel to different places, and they're working on coverage, and that's great. I'm glad they get to do that. They get to see different places. Competing is never a bad thing, right? They get to compete in those games and things of that nature. But when you get to college, like being in the SEC, like when I was in the SEC, the corners, they're going to make your corners tackle, right? The corners they're paid to cover. They're not paid to, and in the NFL, same thing. They're going to get in condensed formations. The ball's going to fall off the ledge, and they're going to make the corner tackle more often than not. So you better be able to support the run and tackle if you want to play big time football, whether it's college or pro. Because even in the NFL, yeah, those guys cover, and it's more of a passing league. But at the end of the day, if you can't tackle, you can't play. Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, all the great defensive coaches in the league have said that over and over. So when we get them here, we feel like we're trying to help them if they want to have a career in pro football, trying to get them involved in the run game and running sound schemes that they'll have to run in the NFL. We're not doing some junk defense where they're just playing man all day. We're trying to teach them how to play football for their future as well.
No, absolutely. A guy I want to kind of highlight in that regard is Bugs, because I saw him play at University of Maine, and he was, physical cornerback. I saw him play. I live up in Albany, so I got to see him play UAlbany 2 times. And now I've seen him, at Florida Atlantic, and he's kind of developed into a really well-rounded player under your guys' tutelage. No, absolutely. That's a credit to you and your staff, of course, as well as, can't discredit Kazir as well. But that's kind of what. He's becoming like I don't want to say Richard Sherman-esque, but like that mentality where he's able to kind of do everything and do it all and doesn't really second guess himself while he's doing it. I think that's truly important for the cornerback position. And I love seeing, same thing with Day, same thing with pretty much everybody on the back end. CJ Hurd as well. CJ is a monster as well. So that's one thing I really enjoy about watching, the Florida Atlantic defenses. A lot of these guys, they may whiff at times, sure, but they're going to give 100% on that opportunity regardless. And I think that's truly important.
I think, we have 4 great defensive back coaches here, Jordan Helm, Colin Spencer, Derek Gibson, and Brandon Harris. Obviously, the last two, they played in the NFL, so they know what it takes. And I think they're getting great coaching. And what they try to tell guys in recruiting. And then when we get them here, we're going to make you a DB. You're not just a corner. You're not just a nickel. You're not just a safety. And some of the things we do in coverage, everyone has to play a flat. Everyone has to play a half or a third. So they're learning how to play all those different techniques. And you have to be able to tackle the football to get on the field, both in college and the NFL. And I think Bugs has really created some snap value for himself by coming here. He may be a nickel in the NFL. He may be a corner. He may be a big safety. So a bunch of teams coming in every day, and they all see him differently. So I think he's creating some snap value in our system.
No, absolutely. This is the last question for me, Coach. There's a lot of, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, high school players watching this and seeing you guys and seeing how your defense is performing. Why would they want to join Florida Atlantic? What can they learn under Coach Roc?
Oh, I love that. That's great. So we're going to teach them how to play fast. We're going to teach them how to play hard. We're going to teach them how to play physical. Most of all, we're going to have fun. Okay, there's a time and place for everything. Whether you're getting paid a lot of money to do this job or if you're doing it for free as a walk-on, you got to have fun. Otherwise, it's not worth doing. So we try to make it fun. I think they come into our system. They're going to, again, learn an NFL, SEC style defense that's going to help them prepare for the next level. So they're going to learn how to play real football, not some junk defense where you're blitzing two guys in a gap. And we're going to teach them fit concepts and run fit concepts and pass concepts and matching routes and playing spot drop and playing man match. So they learn all the different techniques that the NFL wants to see on film. So they'll get to develop. And if they're good enough, they'll make it from here. If they're not, they won't. But at least we'll give them the tools that they can put on film to be able to display their talents for the NFL, right? The other thing we want to give them is a great experience. We want them to leave here with a degree in one hand and championship rings in the other, right? We haven't gotten to that point yet with the rings. We'll get them to the degree. As long as they show up and work in school, we'll get them to the degree. We have to get to the championship part, and we need more difference makers. If I'm being honest, we're in the American Football Conference now. Right, we're not in Conference USA. No offense to any of those other conferences. This is big boy football. We need better players. So, we have to go out and find guys that are going to help us get those rings on our finger. It's not going to happen overnight at a place like FAU. All right, you can't bring in 50 transfers, expect to hit on all 50, and then go run through the conference. We got to build this thing the right way, bringing in young guys who want to learn and grow in the system, invest in themselves and this program every day, and get better every day and take incremental steps. It's not going to happen overnight where you go beat great football teams like we've played so far this year just by showing up. You got to learn how to get over that hump and get that stop at the end of the game against the North Texas. All right, how you're going to go toe-to-toe with Army for 4 quarters in 98-degree heat. You got to it's incremental steps. So we've got to go out and find those guys that got it within themselves to continue to fight, because it's hard here. It's hard. You practice hard here in the heat. This is hard. It makes you better. It makes you tougher, stronger. When you come through this program, you're going to be indestructible. And that's the thing that we're trying to sell guys. And I hope they feel the passion of it. We're really passionate about our players. We want to make them be the best they can possibly be, the best version of themselves on and off the field. And if we do that, we'll get what we want in this program with the rings and the championships. And they'll leave here with a great experience, having a chance to make a lot of money in the NFL or their chosen profession, and everybody will be happy.
No, I absolutely love that. I truly do. A lot of people ask me, why cover Florida Atlantic? And I was like, I see the vision. I see the vision that you guys are putting together. I see the players that you've been bringing in, the guys you've been recruiting. I've been a huge fan of all of them. I think I've told Katrina that as well, to be honest with you. So I've been following you guys for a while, kind of behind the scenes, and I really love what you guys are doing and putting forward. And I think it's just a matter of when and not if, you know what I mean? So Coach Roc, I really do appreciate you taking this time to speak with me. And I hope, I look forward to being able to do it again sometime.
I appreciate it, man. Anytime you want, I'm ready for you. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.